If there's one thing we should learn from the ancient Stoics, it's to remain calm and accept life as it is, not fight what's not within our own control. But it seems like these ancient teachings have made their way into the present time. Meet 12 people who managed to stay calm in the most stressful situations and came out of them legends. Before we begin, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe and click the notification bell for more such amazing content. Here we go. Number 12. Unfazed Cashier. All of us are quite used to seeing videos of convenience stores being robbed, but maybe not one which went down like this. This branch of Jimmy John's sandwich shop in Kansas City found itself in a tricky situation when this customer turned out to be a robber. So far, this story looks just like any other store robberies, but what makes this one unique is the cashier, who remained unfazed by this sudden turn of events. The employee seemed indifferent and almost annoyed that this robbery in progress was wasting his time. After multiple threats and brandishing of the gun, the cashier had enough and just handed over the cash till. It just looked like he didn't want to be bothered with the whole drama of being robbed. I wonder what was going through the mind of the robber. Number 11. The Snackman. How many of us would actually step in during an ugly situation and try to resolve it from escalating? Not many. We'd rather ignore it or just move on. But it seems like New York subway was lucky enough to have this man walking in during a nasty fight and put an end to it. How he did it was quite clever and funny. The fight broke out between a woman and a man. The woman claimed that the man was following her around, but she wasn't having it. She starts physically assaulting the guy in front of all the other commuters. Enter Snackman. A random commuter who seems to be enjoying his snack quite a bit walks in between the two. He just cuts them off by standing there and continues to chomp down on his chips. And that was it. The fight ended there and then. Snackman saved the day. A security expert, after reviewing the footage, said that this unusual approach worked because it was unexpected and people didn't know how to react to it. Whatever it was, New York has got itself a resident superhero. Number 10. Turning table on a robber. This employee at a hotel in Kentucky has nerves of steel. A masked robber decides to rob the place, but little did he know that it's going to be a lot harder than it looks. He approaches the woman behind the counter with his gun pointed at her and starts to bag whatever he can. But the next thing we see is him moving to the other side of the counter, and it seems like the employee demanded him to do so. What a great way to start a robbery. The employee seemed like she was in no hurry to hand him over the cash. The nervous robber decides to do it himself and climbs over the counter. The lady was not happy and just pushed him away. I mean, does she even see the gun in his hands? Once the criminal started to bag the money, the employee managed to grab his gun and drove him away. If you ever start your own business, you need this woman to be handling your counter. Period. Number 9. Taming a crocodile. Australians certainly have their way with wildlife. You kind of have to, considering the continent is filled with them. Personalities like Steve Irwin certainly give you the impression that most Australians walk around in khakis and have an innate ability to deal with dangerous animals. This was no exception with wildlife expert Matt Wright and his mate Tommy. They were busy removing logs off a river after a heavy storm when a crocodile approaches them out of the blue. Instead of panicking and hurriedly escaping the scene, Matt quite nonchalantly says to the camera, "Having a bit of a hard time here, we've got a little friend that's come and visited us." Little and friend aren't exactly the words we would have used. You can see Matt gently pushing away the croc and eventually their new friend retreated. Maybe the croc was as stunned as the rest of us at how these two handled the situation. Number 8. Fearless customer. The Russians are generally known for being incredibly tough and unfazed, and this video proves that point. In this bustling Russian restaurant, you see a young man in the center enjoying his time here. There's nothing wrong in this picture until a gang of 35 masked armed men enter and start to create havoc and essentially ransack the place. While this is going on, our man is calmly sitting and taking a sip of his probably vodka and just watching the debacle as a spectator. You can see most of the other customers are already making their escape, but this man remains unperturbed. Maybe the secret lies in the vodka that he was drinking. Number 7. Road accident. Ever been in a car accident? Probably not the fondest of memories you want to recall. In most cases, the scene within a car during an accident is one of panic. But that didn't happen with this woman who got her car flipped multiple times. She was driving on a slippery road on a rainy day when she lost control of her car and veered off her lane and over a bund on the side of the road. After multiple flips in the air, you can see this lady remaining perfectly calm, almost as if she's stuck in traffic. If there's any trace of emotion, it's a slight annoyance. She's probably thinking, "I'm definitely not going to make it in time to work." She puts the wrecked car in parking mode and comes out unscathed. Number 6. Escaping the avalanche. Hear that? That's the sound of an incoming avalanche. If you ever hear something like this in a snowy part of your country, get ready to run. Brian Howard was on a vacation with his family when he took this video. While enjoying the scenic winter landscape surrounding him in Banff National Park in Canada, he hears the same noise. He saw a huge plume of snow cloud making its way down the valley towards where he was jogging. But Brian didn't panic, but instead took the opportunity to up his jogging game. Thanks to his composure and fitness level, he managed to evade the avalanche before it could sweep him away. Would you have been able to remain so calm in such a situation? Number 5. 3 teens on a boat. By now we've established that remaining calm in a trying situation is probably the best way to deal with it, and in most cases you get out of it untouched. These 3 teenagers got that part pat down. They decided on a boat trip off the coast of the Florida Keys, but after 2 miles in, their boat started to take on water. Soon after that, their vessel capsized. Fortunately, they had their life jackets on the boat and put them on in time. These kids, without panicking, climbed over their capsized boat, called 911 and waited calmly for help to arrive. Luckily, help arrived soon after to a bunch of smiling teenagers who seemed to just enjoy floating away on their sinking boat. Number 4. Catching the ball. Catching a stray ball on the stands of a match is probably the biggest reward for any fans of a sport. People fight over such situations to bag the ball as a collectible. This Texas Ranger fan seems to hit the jackpot from where he was sitting. You can see him talking away on the phone with a glove on and very nonchalantly catches the ball mid-air. He then continues with his call. The whole time he was just sitting and talking away to glory. He looks like an expert at this and probably has a collection of balls back at home. Needless to say, fans around him seemed annoyed by his luck and being so casual about it. Number 3. Fisherman and shark. Catching a tuna would have been a good catch for the day for most fishermen, but that wasn't the case with this Massachusetts fisherman. After a long struggle of 40 minutes, the fisherman reels in this formidable predator on the shore, expecting something else. The fish was close to 6 feet long and weighed over 150 pounds. He must have been disappointed at the catch, but he continues to calmly grab the shark by its tail and pushes it towards the sea. He didn't even flinch for a moment while trying to release his predator, and even continued to stick around for a bit, making sure the shark found its way back to the ocean. That's the kind of calm you need when facing such a formidable fish. Number 2. Heartless fan. In another sporting event in a match between Liverpool and Aston Villa, forward player GABRIEL AGBONLAHOR rammed into a defender and lost his balance and fell over the stands. Unfortunately for GABRIEL, he fell on the Liverpool side of the stands. As expected of most club fans and their die-hard loyalty, no one offered to help this player from the opposing team. But instead, this Liverpool fan pulls out his camera cheekily and takes a picture of a fallen GABRIEL. Looks like he went home with an unexpected souvenir. Number 1. Sinking car. What do you get when you have a sinking car and a bunch of passengers securely strapped inside? Well, screams, and lots of them. While screaming might be the natural reaction in such a situation, it's important to realize that time is limited and critical, and a calm mind is needed to get out of such a scenario. That's exactly what this Spanish woman did. Zeri Frias was driving on one of the streets of Sagunto post a heavy shower of rainfall. She reached a point where there was obvious flooding, but the puddle was a whole lot deeper than she expected. Needless to say, her car started to sink, and this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Zeri very calmly gathered her belongings and pushed them out the window, and then climbed on the roof of her vehicle and just waited it out until help arrived. We're not quite sure how she managed to stay so calm, but it certainly saved her life. So what do you guys think? Would you have been able to remain calm in all these situations? It certainly is a skill, and a skill worth having. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Until next time, see ya!